Good morning, Chodesh Tov. We're now sitting at a Seudat Rosh Chodesh that was offered by Yitzhak Shlomo ben Rafael and
Center, and prepared by Yehuda
Bar Mimun and all of the Mishtatvim. Should be a Chodesh Tov and Mitzlachat for them. Amen. We're holding in Torah Zayin Tinyana in the second chelik of Likouté Moharan, which is a fundamental Torah in understanding how the Rebbe deals with each one. And especially after he passed away, how it continues. That even though Rabbeinu is not physically here, even though he's Ish Chai, he is alive spiritually, and he's involved in the life of every single one of his Hasidim, all of Am Yisrael Kulo. How is it that Manhig is still continuing to deal with Klal Yisrael? We're discussing in this Torah. We haven't gotten there yet. We're just at the beginning of the Torah. Rabbeinu is speaking about what a leader is. And a leader needs to be, by definition, somebody who has rachmanut and has pity. Pity on people. Leadership means thinking of the others and not thinking of yourself. Like we said a few times, that you can have a personality, a character that is natural leader. Not necessarily the smartest, not necessarily the best in everything. But you see that certain people have a malchut. And we see that the malchut is a gift, it's a spiritual energy that you are attracting others to be underneath you. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to use it for your self-gain, your self-benefit, or are you going to do it for the good of others? Rabbeinu said, it must be for the good of others if you have this gift. And you will be the most fulfilled, because when you're giving, you're actually receiving. That's for another time. But either way, Rabbeinu said that the rachmanut has to be with wisdom. On wicked people, there's no rachmanut. There is rachmanut in the minds, like somebody asked me yesterday, that you can see a nikudat tova, you can see a kavschut, you can see that Afar Pi, like Rabbeinu says in Torah Shbebet, that Afar Pi must be that he has done some good thing in his life. Find that, think about that. But to distance yourself and not to help him in his reshut, that's what it means.
What's the Rasha
A killer, Rabbeinu says, and a stealer. And a killer and a stealer, you're going to start being mirachem on them. So like we said a few times, the terrorist killed and we can't shoot him back. If he's coming to kill, you make sure that you shoot him in the, there's no such thing. You kill a killer. We do not give good conditions and university degrees and medical treatments to terrorists who tell you that when they get out, they're going to kill you again. This is false rachmanut. The rachmanut needs to be not on Rishayim. Second, when you are merachem and the ones that need the rachmanut, how are you merachem? To a child you give milk, to an adult you give meat. Don't give meat to the child and don't give milk to the adult. It's not enough for him. The rachmanut needs to be well balanced. What is the real rachmanut, said Rabbeinu in Od Bet? It's to get Am Yisrael out of averot. In Od Gimel, the biggest pity that could be in spiritual terms, and it was that a person is involved in sin. When a person is doing things that are detrimental to himself, we understand that a person could be taking heroin, can be taking crack, he can be ruining his physical body. We've seen them. But it's the exact same thing when a person is doing averot to himself. He's doing averot, he's ruining the neshama that Hashem has given them. And the real rachmanut is to see how can I save this guy from Geinam here and Geinam in the next world. Because you have to know that the next world comes, and the pity that Rabbeinu said on the people who have averot, you cannot begin to understand the pity on them. A person who did mitzvot, you cannot begin to understand. That is why there's free choice. The reward that he's going to get, the bliss that he's going to have, the eternal good that he's going to have on every small thing that he did. We said a story yesterday. I'm going to repeat it again. I saw it just to show you that even the smallest thing that you're not even putting your whole heart into it. There was a Rav in Mexico, Rav Michal Peretz. I saw one of the videos they sent yesterday. Vayman sent one of the videos, and one of the rabbis said the story. Michael Peretz is a Rav in Mexico, and I'd seen his farm before. He wrote good Sfarim. Never knew who he was. He's invited to a Seudat Hoda'ah after COVID. After COVID, Seudat Hoda'ah, the guy calls him, doesn't really know him. There's people in the community that you've maybe seen, but you don't even know their name. You see the face at a wedding, you see him at the grocery store, but it's not an acquaintance. It's somebody that's in the community that you know. If you'll meet him in Israel, maybe you'll talk to him. If you meet him in Uman, then you'll two people from the same neighborhood, but he doesn't really know him. He invites him. He says, do I know you? He says, you know me. You got to come. You have to come. You involved. What do you mean I was involved? Please come. He shows up, there's 17 people at the Suda. 17. Hand-picked people. Not necessarily a big connection between all the people. And he says like this, in COVID he had a coma. During the coma he passed away clinically dead. He was going up. He was mamish getting to Shamayim, he saw everything. His mother comes and says, stop, you're going back down. So he tells her, Mommy, how can I go back down? I'm not alive. He says, you're going back down. He says, how? I can't. He says, no, there's 17 people saying for you Tehillim, and in that schut, you're allowed to go back down. So don't come up here. It's not, don't stay away from here. Go back right away down. Now, what's the chiddush is that the Shamayim opened, and he saw each individual where they were saying the Tehillim. So he says, this guy maybe is at the kever of this tzaddik, and this guy's at the kotel, and this guy's in Mexico, and this guy's here. People around the world, I guess some that knew him, and you're going to see some that didn't know him. We're saying Tehillim. So Rab Peretz is there and saying, I never said Tehillim for this guy. I don't know this guy. I don't know his name and his mother's name. How did I say Tehillim to him? And he tells him, no, you did say Tehillim. And then he thinks back and remembers, actually, one day he was going out of shul, and you know, many shuls, they have a bulletin board, and they have like names. You ever go to the kotel, you ever go to Uman, you go to a place, it says, please say, Kefil Tehillim in Tosh for the Refuah Shlema of Splon Yanun. Yeah, you look at them, you don't know him, you have what to pray for, you have different people to pray for. So this Rav, sometimes maybe you said it till him, could be that you once said it till him. So the Rav is going outside the shul, he sees the name of the board, and probably when he's walking in the street, he's saying a Tehillim without kavanah, he doesn't remember if he said it, he didn't say it, murmuring a Tehillim, maybe when he's thinking about planning his day, he's getting into his car, he's saying a Tehillim, and that Tehillim was the Tehillim that brought back the neshama. Wow. You understand? You think that it's nothing? The smallest thing you do is the reward for it is unbelievable. You cannot begin to understand, and that's why there's free choice. If you would see the results in what you're doing good, you would never stop. Rabbeinu said, if we would bring back an iftar to Olam Hazeh, you're going to see what it is to pray, you're going to see what it is to rush, you're going to see what it is to grab mitzvot. It's endless, because there you can't do anything more. It's finished, it's done. What you did here, it's imagine we tell you that you come into a vault. There was a story of a king, that the king lost his little boy, an only child. And the kid, kidnapped or ran away, couldn't find him. So they searched the whole country, they put out a reward. Finally, the kid was in the forest. And who did he found? Another person that as a kid he also got lost, and he grew up in the forest, a caveman, a Tarzan. So he finds the kid, and all these years he's been with animals. Finally he found somebody who looks like him, he's so happy, so he takes the kid with him. He comes back, and finally the army comes into the forest. The army comes in the forest, they find the guy with the kid. You're the guy, you found him, you got the reward. So he comes to the king, they shave him, they dress him. He doesn't understand the language. So the king tells him, I have to thank you. It's my only son, you brought him back, we're giving you a big reward. 24 hours in my vault. You take what you want. Give you bags, you fill up whatever you want. So he's in the vault, and so they're outside with the locked door. Nobody's allowed to come in. So they tell him, fill up. So he thinks he's slave labor. He thinks he has to work. So but there's food there and there's a bed, because they got to give him a little bit of comfort. So he takes a diamond, he puts it in the bag. They told him shkoyach. He does a little piece of gold, he puts it in the bag. And he sees that when he goes to take a coffee and take some, a cookie, they're not bothering too much. So he feels like they're not such hard bosses. Once in a while they tell him, come on. So he puts a little bit more, but he's able to rest. He takes an hour rest, and he feels like he fooled them. He comes out with a little bag, and he's like, I got them good. You guys think I'm going to work hard? I didn't work too hard. No, he gets into the city, and he starts to want to take the things that are about the city. So they say, you got to pay. So they check his pockets. They take one of these diamonds, and they give him cash back, and he starts to realize what he has. That's us. That's us. We're in this world.
The value that he could have had.
Yeah. Then he realized what I could have done if I would have used those 24 hours. Would have been a billionaire. He's a little millionaire, but he could have been the Ashir of the Olam. It's us as well. We think that's okay. I'll do what I can. I'll grab once in a while I can. The reward that you have is endless, but it's also the opposite is also true. That's why we have to do tshuva every day. That's why we have to do vidui every day. That's why we have Yom Kippur. That's why we go to Uman and we cry. You will fall, but it's okay. Clean them up. The mitzvot are always stored. And the avirot, clean them up, do tshuva, fix. It's not a problem to fall, it's a problem not to fix. But somebody who's not choshesh on his life, somebody who's living a life of hefkerut, of avirot, and a good Jew, like the ones, going to shul, and these people, they mess up, but they clean it up right away. The Gemara says about a Talmid Chacham, Rabbi Natan says, what's a Talmid Chacham? It's a Talmid of the Chacham. If you're Talmid of the Tzaddik, Talmid Chacham, if you're Talmid of the Tzaddik, the Gemara says, if you see him doing avirah in the day, don't think about him the next day, because for sure that night he did tshuva. He woke up chatzot, he did tshuva, he cried, and until it's gone. The next day, people who are in the system mess up, but they catch up. But if you're not in the system, if you're not choshesh, if you're not trying to live your life with a real purpose, the bitterness that there is here the bitterness, and there you can't begin to imagine this. And I don't know this. Nobody has seen it, but Rabbeinu told us what it is. Rabbeinu said the pity there is endless. So the tzaddik, he has the eyes to see. The tzaddik knows what's happening there. Tzaddik is called kol b'shamayim uva'aretz. He's able to be there and here at the same time. He sees what's happening there, so he can tell you, I beg of you, don't do averot. You don't know what's going to come to you. So Moshe Rabbeinu's whole inyan in the Rachmanut is to get Am Yisrael out of averot. Don't do a sin. He's doing everything to be machnis dat inside the people. That's what we're saying in Od Gimel. Let's read it a little bit again together. Kikar Rachmanut u'shisrael am kadosh noflim chas v'shalom bavonot. The real pity on a Jew is when a Jew sins. Ki zeh arachmanut agadol mikol minei rachmanut. The biggest pity that could be in a person that's living a life of sin. כי כל האיסורים קשים שבעולם אינם נחשבים כלל כנגד המסוי הכבד של עוונות. Imagine that there's people who are suffering. There's people in the hospital. You ever go visit? It's good to go visit. I visited a person, they cut off his legs. Understand what it is? The suffering they had? Says Rabbeinu, the worst suffering of Olam Hazeh is nothing compared to the suffering, the heaviness, the difficulty of a sin, what it is on the heaviness of the soul. אינם נחשבים כלל כנגד המסורת של הבנות. חס ושלום, כעם ישראל, כשישראל נופלים בהבנות, חס ושלום, זה המסוי כבד מאוד, it's very heavy for them. שאפשר לישא כלל המסוי הכבד הזה. בחינת כמעשה כבד יכבדו ממני. The weight is too much to bear. That David Melech is speaking about averot. The averot is too much to bear. You don't feel light after Yom Kippur. You feel light after Uman. You feel light after you did Vidui. You feel light. Otherwise, a person's walking around without a cleanup, it's heaviness on him. And then he's going to try to look for some way to quick fix and get some high, get some simcha, get something to forget about the difficulty. That's why they want to occupy you all the time with a new high, with a new up, with new something to forget about the depression that they're in because of all the averot. כמי שיודע, קדושת ישראל, מאין הם לקוחים, if you knew what a Jew was, if you knew the holiness of his soul, which high, lofty place is coming, that is Chedek Elokai Mimal. It's Chedek Elokai Hashem. It's part of Hashem Mamash, the soul of a Jew. When Hashem puts an neshama into a person, into Adam Rishon, he blows from himself. Obviously, Hashem is not blowing. It's a metaphor. But the metaphor is if you're blowing from within inside you, you're putting yourself into the person that you're blowing into. The ruach of the man, of the Jew, of the soul, is from Hashem into the soul. It's that this is a part of him. And Api Kabbalah and Zarizan, he's going to tell you exactly where you would be astonished to know what you are and who you are. You're walking around, you don't know your power. The Yodeya, Ruchaniyut, Dakut Shel Yisrael, the refinement, the spirituality, the purity. Hu Yodeya Sh'Yisrael em rechokim nigram me'avon. Ven avon shayach lem klal klalo. The sin is not a shidduch with them. It's not a shidduch. It's not a good match. Amalek, a sin is a match. Canaan, a sin is a match. They're an Eved, he is running after Znut. But a Jew is a prince. A prince is not fit for these things. Chazal say that if we would be always with the surroundings of the tzaddikim, without the influence of the goyim, no Jew would do avirot. Any chiloni, any guy that you take, you just put him into the right group, into the right mahalach. If he doesn't have too much animosity, if he's going to come in and just take a look, really with true eyes to see what is this Torah all about, he's going to be that I found myself. This is where I belong. I belong in Shachit. I belong in Torah. You teach him the Gemara. What is the Gemara? You take a guy, a goy, he's not going to understand. But the Jew, right man, he has a kesher with it. It speaks to him. The Jew is naturally attracted to good. That's all. Because where his soul it comes from? His soul is coming. He is the messenger of good. By the way, it's not in the end of better or worse. A Kohen, he has more mitzvahs than a regular Jew. Is he better? He has a different role. You have your role, he has his role. There's nothing wrong with the Goy. Nothing wrong. Nothing. Just if the Goy is trying to prevent Am Yisrael from doing their mission, they're preventing everything. Because Am Yisrael is supposed to be a spiritual mentor for all of the nations. Hashem created the world, he loves the world, he wants the good for all the world. But he wants that there should be a Rebbe, a teacher, the same way we need a Rebbe to teach us, we need to be the Rebbe of the world. The Gemara says when Mashiach comes, all the stadiums that exist, Masechet Megillah, will turn into places, avenues where the Torah will be taught by Jews. The simple things we know, you're gonna nakir keilot. It's gonna be lineups to hear simple. Rabbi says the simple concepts of emunah that you have of Judaism is mind-boggling for the world. They're waiting and need our message. The problem is when we get mixed up with them and we fall into sin, we forget our message, and then everything is messed up. And the reason they attack us is some conscience that are saying, "I need you to do your job better." You know that if all of Am Yisrael were following God's will, they would not have anything what to tell us. They would not have a single thing. They would bow to us, and we've had that in history. When Shlomo Melech, everybody was nichna. We realized that and we're not here to attack anybody. We're not here. We're here to give. We're here to share the message with you. Be a good goy. You have 7 mitzvot. A Kohen has more mitzvot than a Jew, and a Jew has more than a goy. But everybody can do what he's supposed to do. That's your mission. ולפי גודל קדושתם ושורשם, גודל דקותם ורוחניותם, their spirituality, their refinements, עד כן, כל הייסורים שבעולם אינם נחשבים למסוי נגד המסוי כבד של עוונות חס ושלום. When he's not fulfilling his mission, when a person is not doing what he should be doing, what he can do, that's the worst thing that could be. A Jew is meant to be the bearer of truth and good. And when he's stuck in averot, his neshama is suffering. And it translates into a lot of things. Addictions, tavot, you name it. The whole world, they're trying to quiet the voice inside and say, isn't there something more? Isn't there something else you should do? Quiet, there's a new product, there's a new vacation, there's a new car, there's a new restaurant, there's a new fashion. Quiet, don't think. That's what the Yetzer Hara is trying to get us to do, but it's very heavy for the Jew, and therefore he can't be alone. You take a breastlover, no problem to be alone. You're actually probably happy to be alone. Yeshuv Adat, you can learn, you can talk to Hashem. But you take a person that's not involved in spiritual pursuits, put him alone, he's going to go crazy. What are you going to do alone? You're face to face with yourself. And what do you have to offer? Says Rabbeinu, it's the biggest pity, and the tzaddik sees this pity. If you've come close to the tzaddik, you start to feel it a little bit. You start to know it. You start to feel so grateful of the good, every little drop of Torah and Kedusha and Minhag that you have, you start to be so grateful for it. And you start to have a lot of pity for the ones that are far. It's pitiful. It's really pitiful. So now, what is your job? The job that Tzaddik is par excellence on the whole world. He wants to give dat to the whole world without any exception. But your job is the ones around you. When you're involved in people, don't just think about your own personal avodah. See how you can give brains to a person, dat to a person, and that will eventually help him change his ways, and that's the best thing you could do. In the levels of tzedakah, the Rambam says, the highest level of tzedakah is to give dat to a person. Ashrei maskin el dal. Praiseworthy is the one who gives haskala to a dal per person. A guy doesn't have his rent, but he's full of averot and no sechel, and he's depressed and he's bad zvut, and he's living his life in a foolish way, he's in a quicksand. So you're going to pay his rent, you're going to buy groceries. Did it help him? The next month he's going to do the same thing. But if you give a guy a little bit sechel, Habibi, what's wrong with you? Come, start to change that. Don't do the avirah. Don't look at this. Come on, come to shul. Let's learn a few good things. Don't speak lashon hara. Let's do chesed. You can help at the soup kitchen. Yeah, you can go to the mikveh. Look, talk to Hashem. If you have a problem, don't complain to everybody. Go to the corner and speak to Hashem about it. You just gave him the tools to get out of his problem. This is the real Rachmanut. Real Rachmanut is to give person the own dat. Now the chidush is, where do you get the dat? You get it from here. Because to get a person out of averot, because here the manhig, he has to know what to give each one. Milk or meat. Now that's different types of people. Because you understand that a guy that's zero of Torah, you're not going to give him meat. You're not going to give him, and a guy that's very strong, you're not going to give him milk. That's why it's like a paraduma. It's like a paraduma. A guy, you have a shiva bacher, you have a lamdan, a tamid chacham, you start telling him, nikudat tova, everything is good. Don't be, 1 second, this guy can learn Zohar. You're only learning halacha, learn Zohar. But the guy who's on zero, you got to give him milk, you got to give him sweetness, you got to know how to deal with it. Our job is to receive from the tzaddik. The tzaddik deals with us and gives us the dat that we need. So one time he's going to give us milk, one time meat, we're going to see. He's going to give us ups and downs. And then we start to learn ourselves how to have the dat, to be able to share the dat. And slowly but surely, the whole world becomes filled with dat. How many people came to Uman this year? How many people? You know how much dat there is now in the world of the tzaddik? You know how many people they're talking to? Even in the standard Torah world, the diburim and the mahalach. There's a lot of Torah. There's a lot of mahalachim. But the dibur in Am Yisrael has changed. It's not the dibur from 20, 30 years ago. It's not the dibur because the dot of the tzaddik is going into the world. Sheniskeh b'izrat Hashem.
Zimun.